Madam President.
The motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller,
Aye.
To seal the minutes of the executive session.
Second, Madam President.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. And Madam Clerk, please note for the record that during executive session, we entertained a motion from Majority Leader Taylor that was seconded by Deputy Majority Leader Harris to respectfully ask the city solicitor to leave the room for a period of time. And
so noted.
that motion passed. Thank you.
Madam President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the reading of item 4 and pass on a roll call vote.
Second, Madam President.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion?
Briefly, I will discuss.
Majority Leader.
We listened to both sides tonight. Me personally, I'd like to thank both of them, both sides, to come and give us a lengthy discussion. But I move that, again, like I stated before, that we elect the city council, the internal auditor. And I want to thank her for coming out and finding this issue, because if she didn't find this issue, we wouldn't have been sitting here discussing this. And I think we need to, as a city council, we need to back our internal auditor for all work that she did, Sean did, Christina did, Jim Lombardi did. And I don't think we should look the other way. I think we should move forward and vote to hire Mr. Wistow and his law firm to get to the bottom of this. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Madam President.
Councilwoman Ryan and then Councilor Royce.
I'll yield to Councilman Roy.
Councilor Royce.
Thank you. I just want to say I'll be voting to move forward with outside counsel. I think, you know, the residents of the North End elected me to stand in the way of forces in the city that would exploit them. And I believe millionaire developers such as Mr. Chase have for far too long exploited taxpayers. And so I think we're sending a strong message to residents here that we care about them. And we're sending a strong message to Mr. Chase and other developers who want to continue to follow this sort of game plan. I think tonight my vote is to tell folks such as Mr. Chase that this can't happen moving forward, that this council is going to stand in their way. So I just wanted to share that.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Thank you kindly, Madam President. I would like to make a motion this evening to actually continue this matter to provide the opportunity for the council body to review the voluminous material, very well done by Attorney Wistow, as well as the comments that were made by our solicitor. I do think that I am averse to the lawsuit. I don't think 95% of lawsuits are settled before they go to court. I don't think that it's a good, the best use of our dollars, the best use of our time. I think that we should try, as the solicitor spoke about, we should try to recover as much money as possible, and we should try to focus on revising the 8 law, which has caused this dilemma. I think that we should try to avoid possible litigation, and quite frankly, I do think that at this juncture it would be prudent if we use the time, because we heard in testimony that time is not the issue here, that we have time, that we take that time and be very thoughtful and mindful. I think we should engage a third-party attorney, perhaps a tax specialist, that can help ferret out the difference between what we heard from the solicitor's office as well as what we've heard from Attorney Wistow, who again is presenting the best case scenario. I do think that there's a worst case scenarios, and I'm not convinced we will prevail in court. So I pursue a continuance, and I'm asking for a second. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councilwoman Graves.
I'm standing with my fellow gentlemen, council persons. We have to stop letting privilege trump everything else. Again, I will say, we just voted for the everyday man to pay higher taxes. And if we keep on saying, oh, well, let's push this off, push this off, push this off, we didn't have a problem voting for that. I have no problem in voting that we pursue this, and that Buff and Chase and anybody else that is privileged realizes that we are tired of being stepped on. And the people in Ward 12 do not want to hear this. After we told them they have to pay more taxes, then we're going to keep on talking about, oh, well, what can we do to work with them to see if they'll give us back a pittance of what we gave them? No. The problem is we have to stop with this privilege things, and we have to start looking at everybody and be fair to everyone, and we need to stop stepping on the little guys, because that's what we're doing in this. We're stepping on the little guys. So I vote yes, 100%.
Further discussion, Councilman Gonsalves.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm just going to say, as the councilman for this ward representing downtown, I am quite offended on behalf of my constituents that this was able to happen in the first place. I was on this council body when this occurred. And the fact that I wasn't given a courtesy by anyone in the city administration or by the council leadership that this was happening is a slap in the face to democracy. We can't allow these kinds of things to happen, and I really, really appreciate the due diligence that was done by Mr. Listow and everyone who has been involved in this process. Our city auditor deserves a round of applause. Let's just give it up. I mean, and again, I'm going to say I'm very, very offended on behalf of my constituents that this sweetheart deal was doled out in the first place. Today's vote is going to be a necessary step to correct the failures of the last administration and the council leadership, and I am so thrilled. And I hope everyone will vote on behalf of moving forward. I am so thrilled if we're able to move forward, because we can't just be about the talking points. We can't just be about saying we care about affordable housing. We can't just say we care about low-income housing and not move forward with this. We have to put our money where our mouth is, and there is no reason why this agreement should have been made in the first place. And this is about fairness. I'm going to say this again, it's about fairness. The fact that we, again, just increased taxes for the people of the city, the fact that we are not complying with the 8 law, the fact that we are not complying with the regulations around low-income housing is a slap in the face to the people of Providence, and so I urge my council colleagues to take this bold action and to stand up to these egregious, I think, agreements that have been a slap in the face to the taxpayers. I really, really appreciate everyone who has been involved in this process, and I just want to say that I'm just sad for the city today. I am sad for the city, and I think the way that we show justice is by acting on this and by making sure that there's a path forward. So thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Councilwoman Harris.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank my colleagues for definitely the questions tonight, the clarity of why we must do this. I myself is also going to be voting for outside for representation and for outside legal representation, simply because right now this council is struggling with conversations around the housing crisis that's happening. That's what we're doing right now in the city. We're trying to figure this all out about why so many people are in encampments, why people are being displaced and pushed out, why high developers want to come in and continue to develop at a high-end rate. Well, with all of that being said, I say tonight is a very important step for this body to make and to take, and with all the conversations we had, there is so much more clarity that has come out of these conversations. And again, I also want to thank this audit, Gina Costa, for the work that she's done and what she constantly do for us here in the city to provide the oversight. And I also want to thank the attorneys for bringing the conversation before us tonight. Thank you, Madam President, for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Deputy Majority Leader. Councilor Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam President. Today I rise, or right now I rise in strong opposition of the motion that my colleague, Councilwoman Ryan, put on the floor. Just for the simple fact that I believe too much time has passed already. I really don't think we're gonna get any more information that will make a difference in anything at this point. We've had the opportunity to ask the questions that we needed to ask. We had the time to listen to not only our legal department here of the City of Providence, but also the attorneys that we're looking to hire. So that's my first point. And my second point is I don't really agree with my councilman colleague here, Gongovs, about saying this is a sad day. Although it is really depressing listening to the stuff that we just heard, I think we have an opportunity to change the direction we're going in. I'm really, really proud of all 14 of you for even entertaining this in the first place. This isn't going to be an easy fight politically, socially. I mean, this is definitely a unique situation. But like I mentioned earlier in past council meetings, this is way, way, way bigger than any one of us as individuals. This is for the 190,000 people that we represent here in the City of Providence. And then, of course, just thank the folks that got us to this place to begin with. Our city auditor, Gina Costa, previous chief of staff, Sean Bouchard, senior advisor, treasurer, Jim Lombardi. This is something that they raised as concerns very early on when I was elected. So to see this finally take some substantive action, I just really want to thank them. And like I said, I'm feeling optimistic of what the future holds for us, for this body. So thank you, everyone. I know it definitely hasn't been easy. We sat through almost 4 or 5 hours of conversation today, and I just want to thank you all.
Thank you. Further discussion? Councilor Reyes.
Madam President, thank you for allowing me to speak a second time. I mentioned this in executive session, I'll mention this publicly, is that residents often ask themselves, how do sweetheart deals get through the city year after year? And my colleagues know that I'm passionate about this issue. I'm going to say that there is a correlation between corporate welfare, which is what Mr. Chase pursued, and his ability to purchase government statewide. He has spent $150,000, you can look this up, across the state to influence government. And so today we are saying no to that influence. We are saying no, you can't buy access, right? And so I need to say that was burning in me, and I'm just really proud of you all, proud of my colleagues. This is, I feel like, a long time coming. It's why I decided to run, to really stop these kinds of egregious behaviors by wealthy folks in the city who think they can engineer government to favor their interests. I'm done with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President Miller.
Aye.
Councilor Andujar. Councilman Anthony is absent. Councilman Espinal.
Aye.
Senior Deputy Majority Leader Goncalves.
Aye.
Councilwoman Graves.
Aye.
Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Aye.
Council President Pro Tem Prachado.
Aye.
Councilor Royas.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ryan.
Nay.
Majority Whip Sanchez.
Aye.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ana Vargas. Aye. Councilman Oscar Vargas.
Aye.
You have 13 ayes, 1 nay, 1 absent. The resolution passes.
Thank
Madam
you,
President.
Clerk. Majority Leader Taylor.
If there is no further business, I'd like to rise and adjourn in memory of Providence Police Department Mounted Command Equine, the horse theme salute.
Second, Madam President.
Motion's been made in second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are adjourned until the first Thursday in September.